Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Excalibur Roundtable Tech Talk. I am Mike Fuson, and I'm joined by Tom Petley, one of my favorite British citizens across the pond from HaloITSM. Tom, how are you doing?
Hi, Mike. Yeah, thanks for the big build up. That's great.
Yeah. um, so one of the things we wanted to talk about today is some of the new things that have come to Halo. There's new things coming all the time. Um, Little things, but this is a big thing.
Mm,
This is
that's a big one, this one.
huge. It's huge. Halo has released officially their chatbot, not a chatbot from a third party. This is built in to the platform.
hmm
Tom, talk to us a little bit about what you guys have done. I know we kind of did a little teaser with folks a little while back of what was coming.
Yeah,
Where are we here in this first release?
this is a big one for us. This is something that we've been working on quite a lot of this year. 2022. It's been a big feature we wanted to launch. Yeah, and we've finally kind of got there. We've delivered it now. We did a first saying this is kind of the first phase of something that's going to be so important to service management systems throughout the world, and it's going to be one of the main channels for support really. And so we've launched our chatbot, which also includes live chat as well, which is really important, we think. Chatbots aren't perfect. They're not always going to be able to solve the answer user questions. So it's really important that there's a human at the end of the day that's able to kind of be part of it as well. Otherwise, it just leads to kind of frustrations and stuff. I'm sure you've seen it and experienced it yourself, kind of chatbots that really don't help at all. And you just want to speak to someone. So it's really important for us that we had the live chat element as well into it. But yeah, we've kind of hit on all the kind of the core areas for us in phase one, which is being able to answer questions through kind of knowledge-based articles, being able to log tickets off the back of it as well. So we can, if the articles and the bot's not able to resolve it, we can log a ticket for someone to look at. Feeding into the live chat as well is the other big thing that we wanted as part of it. And they're the kind of core areas for us, and all the logging and the reporting off the back of it as well. So loads of good stuff there. You're smiling away there.
That well, when we talked about kind of the teaser a while back, I was
Mhm.
kind of excited with
Yeah.
what you were showing, the stuff that hey, we're tidying up a few things here for
Mm,
the official release. Here's what's coming. So I think you have a demo for us to
I
show us a
do
little
have,
bit about
yeah, I
what you
do have
guys
a
have
demo as
done.
well.
And I want to key on something you said. This is phase one, right? This is the initial rollout of some
hmm
of the key features. There's more to come with this feature and its functions.
Absolutely, we're already working on phase two already. So although this is launching now, we're already on the next bit already. So there's various stuff that kind of we're working on. But also, again, we've touched this in previous videos and previous talks. Just open to feedback as well. So if there's other things that people want to see in their bot, then this is something that we're very actively developing all the time, really. So it's really interesting one. Right. So this is self-service portal, and again, we talked about this in the past. This can all be branded up, and these are all widgets. You can put whatever widgets you want on. So this is going to be branded up to whatever organization's using it. And the same goes for the chatbot as well. So you can put your own icons in there. You can use kind of generic chat bubbles and things like that if preferred, but kind of own icons in there, color schemes, kind of wording. It's all configurable, which is, again, really, really important. So this is a chatbot here, and if you are new to chatbots, we've got it set up here just in a series of questions at the start and just these little buttons or bubbles. And it's a really great way of kind of getting users used to using a bot. You can have it go straight into a kind of conversation, start typing, but unless you've got lots of kind of historic learning behind that, it can take a bit of time for the system to understand what those questions are meaning and kind of direct it through to the really useful answers. So if you're new to it, we suggest using these kind of bubbles here. I'm going to give an example of a question. I should say you can configure these all. It's just got a drag and drop builder to it. And if anyone's familiar with Halo, it's similar to how the workflow builder works for when you are kind of plotting your, I don't know, your service request process or something like that. It's very, very similar. So I'm just going to ask it a question, and that question could be, how do I fix my printer? Um, I chose this question here just because I wanted it to do a little lookup on some knowledge base articles as well. So it's found some results, and this may or may not be useful depending on how we've got it tagged and how the kind of keywords in here are. I'm going to say in this example, no, that one's not useful. So we're going to keep progressing through. I wanted to give this example because you'll see here, depending on the outcomes of those questions and those answers, you'll see you can configure different responses as well. So I might just go for this time, print. And you'll see here, it's just kind of a different one. So you can really kind of tailor those responses and it will learn from each one of them. And this is just a knowledge base article. So I can click into this and it can take us through to that knowledge base article. And yeah, we can use that to help resolve it. And behind the scenes, we're capturing those results. So we're saying, yes, the bot suggested this, it suggests this knowledge base article, and yes, it solved it as well. So that's basically us doing a resolution without actually any human interaction, which is kind of the holy grail of any support desk. So I'm going to say this time, yes, that was helpful. And you'll see here now it can take us down a different route where it can kind of prompt for different responses, and you can configure all these responses however you want to. And the other nice thing is here, you can still say, I'd like to speak to someone, which will take you through to the live chat side of things, or you can have further questions as well. So you can actually almost start a different combination of them, which we're recording multiple solutions for as well. In this case, I'm just going to say that's everything. And if you want to, you can have this suggest some feedback as well. So we can actually say, how's that bot, kind of how's that experience that bot been? In this case, I've just got it set to that. And I must stress, it's normally a lot quicker than this. It's my kind of dummy environment's just being a little bit slower than that, so it's normally instant.
No, not a problem at all. So what you're saying is you've got an AI engine sitting behind there that's learning. So the more things are getting used, it gets better at what it's suggesting. And then we've got a workflow builder. So if we had wanted to, we could have had this based on the interaction generate a ticket and resolve that ticket.
Absolutely. So
we had wanted it to.
Precisely. So as part of the process, you'll see there's various settings here. So underneath the profile itself, and the profile is important actually because you can have different profiles on different portals or different websites. So you may want to have a separate profile for maybe an HR bot or a facilities bot, or you may even want to put one of these bots on the intranet, for example, if you want to do it that way. There's real kind of use, even the website as well. There's an option to have a public-facing bot as well, which doesn't require kind of login. It can be a member of the public. So there's loads of different options in there. So we've allowed the multiple profiles. Then within each one, you've then got loads of configuration options that we've made available. This is where we talk about different colors and different kind of messaging, icons and things like that. And this is the bit about the ticket creation. So in this setup, we've got it set to say, only log a ticket if configured in the flow. So only when you get to certain stages of the process, do it. Sometimes some organizations like to log a ticket every single time. So you've always got an actual ticket that's in there, which is again another setting we put in there. You'll see other options in here around feedback as well. So you can have the feedback options enabled if you want to. Then under the bot flow, that's where you have your drag and drop in there, that flow builder. The other thing that we've built in, which is really useful, is the ability to import example ones. So we're going to create a library of chat flows we can just import straight in, so you don't have to start from scratch every time. Sorry.
That's I mean, that's something you guys have done for reports and so many other things where as things have been built that could be useful to a broad array of customers, they're available for download in the libraries. But the system doesn't have to be jam-packed with a whole bunch of stuff that may or may not be useful to you as a customer specifically.
That's the thing. We always have different ranges of maturity of organizations, different industries kind of that use Halo, and not everything's always applicable to everyone. So we like to create different options so you're not cluttering your view and it's kind of nicely tailored and you can just import them the right flows for you, really.
Yeah, give you a place to start, right?
Yeah.
You know, without having to sit down and think through every little step. Hey, here's some flows that work for us. We can then go through them and then tailor them to our specific needs, whatever they may be. Pretty exciting, actually. So, Tom, one of the other cool features that we talked about that's in here is live chat. Let's talk a little bit about live chat, because that's not something that is always available in a lot of the bot technologies that are out there. They're just an AI-based chatbot, and that's all they do. There are a few chatbots that are out there that do have live chat capabilities, but it's something you guys brought forward as, phase one, and felt it was so important, as we talked about. So talk to me a little bit about live chat.
We consider it kind of one of our kind of phase one requirements. We think it's really, really important that that if an end user needs to be able to speak to a person, they can do. There's an option for them to do, because otherwise it can just be a really frustrating experience if you're not careful, and if you don't quite get the bot like absolutely solving every single scenario, you're gonna get occasions where actually there's not a solution that the bot can provide. It needs to speak to a person. So we can't capture everything in a knowledge base article or in a service request, or there are going to be those use cases, those edge cases. So we've got live chat as part of it, and there's loads of options around kind of basically taking roles and who's available for live chat, when they're available, which teams can do that kind of stuff. And as part of that, you then configure the flow of the bot to say, on this scenario, it's going to go through to this team, or on this time of day, it'll go through to this team, that kind of stuff. And when you get to the portal here, I kind of skipped over it, but there was an option somewhere in here to say, actually, I want to speak to someone. And based on that, it's going to open up the live chat, where it'll open up this screen, basically, and it'll do it in... I'm having to kind of simulate it from my side. We'll put two people in there, and we'll start that chat off. So it'll come onto this screen here. So you'll actually get a live chat where you can communicate directly with the end user. And that can also reference tickets as well. So if it is regarding a ticket they're chatting, that will all come through there. And all the history of the chat will actually automatically be put straight onto the ticket as well. So you've got all that history in one place as well. Yes, a really kind of full circle stuff.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I was going to be I think one of the first questions always is there. You do all this chat, does it get attached to the ticket? And so you have that history. Should that issue reoccur and they reopen that incident, or they call back in, and another technician handles it, they can see, oh, hey, we did these 5 things before already, and the last thing seemed to fix it, but it didn't. Yeah. So now what are the next things that we need to do? It really helps that workflow as you're working through things.
There's lots of quite clever things in there as well. So if you do need to get someone else involved from maybe one of your resolver groups or something, you can actually add them to the chat as well. So you can add an extra person. It doesn't just have to be one-to-one. So if I'm talking to the user, I need to pull someone in from networks or something, I could drop them in the chat as well, and then they could help us out as well. And again, that transcript is just going to be copied straight onto that ticket, and then you've got the full kind of archive or audit trail, of that.
That's fantastic. So being able to pull other folks in to a chat conversation as needed, and then you're all working together, and all that chat gets saved to the ticket in question. That's phenomenal. I'm looking forward to seeing more. What are some of the things you guys have planned for phase 2?
So phase 2, so at the moment you see some things like the knowledge base article. You have to click on a link to take it out into to open it on another page. And likewise with creating a service request or an incident, it's going to suggest which one to use, but you're going to click on it and it's going to take you off to the form. What we're going to add in is the ability to do all that within the chat. So when it suggests a knowledge base article, it's going to show you in the chat. You'd have to go somewhere else to do it. Little things like that. They sound really quite basic and almost like that's a lot of effort to kind of do that. But actually, from a user experience perspective, if you can just give them all that in one place and bring it all into a single chat, then it's amazing. It's really useful. The other part we're doing as well, which is to use this same logic, the same engine, and apply that across to Teams and Slack as well. So that's another thing we're working on as well. So we do have Teams bots already and Slack bots as well, but just bringing some of this more kind of intelligence through to that, that's really important.
That's fantastic. That's really exciting. I know the Teams integration is already there, so now we're going to bring chat to Teams.
Precisely. Yeah.
and Slack for those that use Slack rather than
Yes.
Teams. That's exciting stuff. What's a timeline you're thinking that we're going to see that? Is that middle of
So,
next year?
yeah, I think it'll be earlier than that. I think it'll be Q1 next year that we're looking at. Yeah. So it's all already been worked on actually. It's something that we try and keep moving on some of these bigger projects behind the scenes, and because they do take a while to do, and they're already being worked on now. So I would expect them to be kind of that Q1 2023 release. That's when we've got it scheduled our side. So as long as we kind of hit
Fantastic.
deadlines, then we'll be fine. Yeah,
Continuing to march forward.
exactly.
That's the exciting thing to see. Well, Tom, thanks for sharing a little bit about the chatbot. There'll be additional videos we'll be doing on some of the other great new features that have come to Halo. Of course, customers can go at any time, or anybody can go at any time to Halo's website to see the roadmap. Join the new community. Information is available there as well, and you can actually log your own requests of things that you'd like to see. So it's always a pleasure, Tom. Thanks for getting with me today.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, thanks for having me.